It was a Monday, August 25th, 2025, in Jamaat Shaim, Morocco. The town was just waking up, bathed in the soft glow of sunrise, as shopkeepers prepared for another week, and children hurried off to school. The air was filled with the promise of a new day, and no one suspected that anything was amiss. The sun rose on what should have been an ordinary day at Barid Bank. The building stood quietly on the corner, its familiar sign a symbol of stability for the community. For years, it had been a place where people entrusted their savings, their hopes, and their futures. Employees arrived, expecting routine, until they stepped inside. The usual greetings and laughter faded as they crossed the threshold, replaced by a sense of unease that none could quite explain. Something was off. The usual hum of the bank was gone, replaced by a heavy, unnatural silence. The lobby, normally bustling with customers and the sound of ringing phones, felt strangely deserted. As they moved deeper, unease grew. The vault room awaited. Each step echoed with dread, as if the walls themselves sensed what had happened. There, the unimaginable, the vault, breached. Its security shattered. The heavy door hung open, its locks twisted and broken, and inside, chaos reigned. Papers and security equipment were strewn across the floor. Shock rippled through the staff. The bank's symbol of trust had been violated. Some stood frozen, others whispered in disbelief, trying to make sense of the scene before them. Questions flooded in. Who did this? How? Was it someone they knew, or a stranger who had slipped in unnoticed? Theories and rumors began to swirl almost immediately. The weekend's peace had masked a meticulously planned intrusion. While families gathered and friends shared tea, someone had been plotting, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Authorities were called. The Royal Gendarmerie arrived, their presence both reassuring and alarming. The investigation began at once, with officers combing through every detail, searching for clues. News spread instantly. Jamaat Shaim's sense of safety was gone. Neighbors gathered in small groups, exchanging worried glances and hushed conversations. The shock was felt in every home and every heart. This wasn't a dramatic gun-wielding robbery. It was something far more insidious. There were no alarms, no shattered glass, no signs of violence, just the chilling evidence of a silent, calculated crime. The crime had unfolded in silence, while the town slept. The darkness had hidden the intruder's movements, and by morning, the damage was done. The illusion of security was broken. Locks, cameras, and alarms, meant to protect, had failed when it mattered most. The day was no longer ordinary. Time seemed to slow as everyone tried to process what had happened and what it meant for the future. It was the day the unthinkable happened. A day that would be remembered in Jamaat Shaim for years to come. A community was left reeling, wondering what darkness might still be lurking. Trust had been shaken, and the search for answers had only just begun. The story of Jamaat Shaim would never be the same. The events of that Monday morning would echo through the town. Die Ender Dustin, die Ten von Dansin, und Bender Deinstein. A stark reminder that even the safest places can be touched by the unexpected. How did the thieves get in? That was the question on everyone's mind as investigators arrived at the scene. The bank's security systems were state-of-the-art, and the building itself looked impenetrable from the outside. Not through doors or windows, but through the wall itself. The usual points of entry were untouched, leaving police baffled at first. The investigators quickly found the breach, a hole connecting the bank to the branch manager's own residence. It was a shocking discovery, revealing just how close the criminals had gotten to the heart of the bank's operations. The plan was patient, precise, and required inside knowledge. This wasn't a crime of opportunity, but a meticulously orchestrated operation that had been in the works for weeks, if not months. The thieves exploited the weekend lull, knowing the bank would be empty. They waited for the perfect moment when the city was quiet and the staff were away, to make their move. Hidden by the manager's home, they worked in silence, dismantling the barrier brick by brick. Every sound was muffled, every movement calculated to avoid detection. This wasn't brute force, it was surgical. The tools they used were chosen for their precision, allowing them to cut through the wall without triggering alarms or drawing attention. The wall, meant to protect, became their secret passage. What was designed as a barrier was transformed into a hidden gateway, right under everyone's noses. their method revealed deep knowledge of the building's vulnerabilities. It was clear they had studied the structure, perhaps even obtained blueprints, and knew exactly where to strike. It was a siege, not a smash and grab. The operation unfolded over hours, maybe even days, as the thieves patiently worked toward their goal. The breach exposed a fatal flaw, a direct link between private residence and vault. This connection, overlooked for years, became the thieves' greatest asset. Sophisticated alarms meant nothing if the physical structure was weak. The most advanced technology couldn't compensate for a simple architectural oversight. The thieves didn't outsmart technology, they outsmarted the blueprint. They found the one weakness no one thought to protect. The hole in the wall was more than an entry point. It was a symbol of overlooked security. It showed how even the smallest gap can become a gateway for disaster. The lesson was clear. Even the best systems fail if the basics are ignored. True security starts with the fundamentals: strong walls, careful planning, and constant vigilance. The bank's greatest weakness had been hiding in plain sight, a silent invitation to those who knew where to look. When the dust finally settled in the quiet bank lobby, a heavy silence hung in the air. The chaos of the break-in had left more than just physical mess. It left a sense of disbelief and shock that would ripple through the entire town. The question on everyone's mind was simple, yet terrifying. What exactly had been taken? As investigators and bank staff combed through the scene, the answer became clear. Nearly 1 million Moroccan dirhams vanished without a trace. The sheer scale of the theft was almost unimaginable for a town like Jamaat Shaim. For Jamaat Shaim, a close-knit community where everyone knows each other, it was a staggering loss that sent shockwaves through every street and household. This wasn't just bank money. It was the cash meant to refill the ATM, the lifeblood of the town's daily transactions. Without it, people couldn't access their savings, pay for essentials, or keep their businesses running. The theft hit everyone. Groceries, bills, small businesses. Shopkeepers worried about making change. Families wondered how they'd buy food, and local markets felt the pinch immediately. The crime was no longer just financial, it was personal. It disrupted daily life, sowed distrust, and left families anxious about their future. The scale of the loss made it a national story. Headlines blared across Morocco, and news anchors debated how such a bold heist could happen in a small town. The Royal Gendarmerie launched a full-scale investigation, determined to track down the culprits and restore faith in the community. The thieves had gone straight for the jackpot, bypassing everything else. Their actions were bold, calculated, and left investigators with more questions than answers. Their precision suggested inside knowledge. Someone knew exactly where to look and what to avoid, making the crime even more unsettling. The empty vault was a chilling reminder of their success, a silent testament to how vulnerable even the most secure places can be. The missing million wasn't just a number, it was a wound in the heart of the community, a loss that would take time to heal and leave scars for years to come. And it was a challenge, a test of whether the authorities could catch those responsible and bring justice to Jamaat Shaim, restoring hope to a shaken town. The Royal Gendarmerie turned the bank into a crime scene, searching for any clue. Forensics combed every inch, hoping for a stray fiber or fingerprint. Surveillance footage became the focus. Hours of video, every frame scrutinized. But the thieves were careful, likely avoiding cameras and leaving little trace. Investigators interviewed everyone, employees, neighbors, and especially the branch manager. Was there inside help? The plan was too precise for chance. The search was for a single thread, a deviation, a mistake. As hours passed, the trail grew colder. The gendarmerie pressed on, knowing someone knew something. The investigation was a race against time. The community watched, anxious for answers. The hunt for the Phantom crew had begun. In Jamaat Shaim, the heist became legend overnight. Cafes buzzed with theories and admiration for the thieves' audacity. A movie heist, people called it, straight out of Hollywood. The details fit: silent entry, tunneling, a massive haul, and a clean escape. It was a story everyone knew from films now playing out in real life. The crime felt surreal, almost glamorous, yet deeply unsettling. If criminals could pull off such feats, what was truly safe? The heist exposed vulnerabilities no one had imagined. Law enforcement faced pressure, not just to solve the case, but to restore faith. The town waited for the ending, hoping reality would outdo fiction. The final act was still unwritten. The Royal Gendarmerie launched a sweeping investigation. Forensic teams analyzed every scrap from the breached wall. Intelligence units scoured for signs of sudden wealth or suspicious activity. Known criminal groups came under scrutiny. The focus tightened on the bank. Who knew the layout, the ATM schedule, the building's secrets? Employees, ex-staff, and anyone with access were investigated. The thieves' knowledge pointed to an inside source. Public pressure mounted as days passed with no arrests. The myth of the invincible crew grew. Behind the scenes, investigators chased every lead, waiting for a single slip-up. The hunt was relentless. The stakes, not just justice, but the reputation of Morocco's elite police. The Safi heist wasn't an isolated event. Across Morocco, bold financial crimes were on the rise. Earlier that year in Tangier, a man threatened to burn down a money transfer agency for cash. The methods differed, one silent and cunning, the other violent and brazen. Both revealed cracks in the system. The public's shock turned to concern. Were banks and agencies truly secure? Calls for stronger security grew louder. The Safi heist was a wake-up call, but it was part of a larger trend. Criminals were getting smarter and bolder. The demand for action was clear. Prevention, not just reaction, became the new priority. The Safi heist fueled fears of rising crime, but the reality was more complex. Official statistics showed a 95% crime-solving rate and a drop in violent crime, yet cybercrime and drug offenses were climbing. The nature of crime was changing, less frequent, but more sophisticated and alarming. The Safi heist was rare, but its impact was huge. Public anxiety focused on the few high-profile cases that slipped through. The headlines terrified, even as the numbers reassured. The real story was about evolving threats, not just rising numbers. The gap between perception and reality widened. The authorities had to fight both crime and fear. The public wanted reassurance and results. The Safi heist was a harsh lesson for Morocco's banks. State-of-the-art alarms meant nothing if the walls themselves were weak. The breach forced banks nationwide to rethink security from the ground up. Managers had to see their branches through a thief's eyes. Physical barriers, not just technology, became the focus. Security had to be layered. Solid walls, smart procedures, vigilant staff. The thieves bypassed tech by exploiting the basics. The missing million was a costly lesson, but an invaluable one. The hope that banks would reinforce their defenses, making future heists impossible. As of November, the culprits remained at large, but their legacy was clear. The era of complacency was over. The next would-be movie villains would find the walls much harder to breach.